Heard that. What's going on, everybody? This is Tim Hurd, and you are listening to Tall Talk, episode 24. Oh, I am here in Emma and I's new apartment in London, Ontario, and we're tired. We've been just doing nonstop moving, just going everywhere, picking up things, and oh man, it's been a long haul, but we made it. Last time we talked, I was in Nashville, and I'll talk about that little journey in a bit, but yeah, I just want to talk about right now the fact that we just moved a bunch of things, and we moved in on Tuesday, August the 7th. Signed the rest of the papers and got everything going, got the elevator, moved all our stuff in, and then just started unpacking. And right now our apartment's like 50% complete. We still got a lot of things to do, but we're just giving her on that shit. But I tell you, man, we have accomplished a lot, and Emma did good with the purchases. She bought this lovely table. You can't see it, but I'm sitting on it right now. It's fucking fantastic. I really like it. Great chairs. We got a coffee table. It's a distillery table from the cheap seats, Emma Hackett. But yeah, no, I'm really happy with it. She did good. And today we went out and, well, Emma bought a couch, a very nice couch with really nice leather, and it's going to be great. So when all you guys show up to visit, you have somewhere to sleep. I'm talking to you, McLovin. You know who you are. But no, it's I'm really happy. Emma's shaking her head right now. No McLovin allowed to sit on the couch. Air mattress. Wow. Are you gonna take that, McLovin? Really? I don't know if you want to take that. That's, oh God, it's gonna be aggressive when they meet for the first time, and I can't wait. PBR lights for the win. But no, it's been a good time. Like, it has been busy, but it's been fun though. Like, moving into our apartment, you know, like, it is stressful moving, and it's probably the fourth time I've done it. Moving my stuff from Ottawa to Aurelia to Lucknow, and then going down to Texas, helping Emma move bring up all her stuff up to Canada. So it's been an up and down battle, but we have made it to London, our final stop on this adventure. And I tell you, man, I'm excited for new beginnings. But no, man, like, yeah, we just been hanging out. We just finished eating dinner, and we just finished watching a pretty decent movie on Netflix called Tanya. It's about the figure skating fiasco in 1994 Olympics. You know, that Natasha girl who got slashed. Is that her name? Is it Natasha? It doesn't matter. Some girl some figure skater got hit by a I don't know, like a baton or something, and I don't know. It was a pretty interesting movie. It was good. Margot Robbie kills it again. She's a great actress. And yeah, I really enjoyed that movie. It was really interesting how idiots could do something like that. My God, they're stupid. That fat fuck, Sean Ackert, or whatever his name was, Shane Ackert, or whatever the fuck his name is, Eckhart. My God, that guy's dumb. Like, go on YouTube and watch the interviews with him on NBC or CBS, because it is hilarious. He's like, oh, I'm like a secret agent. I'm basically like the FBI, but better. He's like, but I live in my parents' basement, so nobody will ever figure it out. It's me. I don't know, man. Like, God, those guys were stupid, and they ruined her career and the other girl's career. So, because I didn't really know much about it. I just would watch it on SportsCenter Top 10 as one of the craziest fiascos of all time. And I was like, oh, they were like competitors, and this girl wanted to win, so she broke this girl's knee or capped her kneecap or something. Fuck. But good movie all in all. So yeah, we've just been putting around the house, just driving around London. Oh my God, has it been crazy. we had to one morning we both had to do tests. Emma had to do a test for nursing, and congratulations to her, she got her job. So it's amazing. No, I'm really proud of her. She did great. And then after that, I had to do a writing test for Fanshawe, and I didn't realize that everybody that applies to Fanshawe College has to do this test, and it's like a writ test. And it was an essay, and I haven't done an essay since my Laurentian days. And I tell you, I was a little nervous. They had me read an article, and oh man, it's not the best essay I've done, but I got through it. The worst thing is if I fail that essay, I have to do the writing course, and I really don't want to do that. But if it comes down to it, maybe I should. Maybe my writing needs a little bit of a touch up. But yeah, no, I'm thirsty. Let's crack open a beer. I went to the beer store today when we were doing some running around at HomeSense, and I tell you, I've done more running around at HomeSense than I've ever done in my life. And I'm not gonna lie, kind of hooked on the HomeSense. So the beer store that was near the HomeSense, they had a London beer. It's actually the London Brewing Cooperative. And I have the Norfolk Red, and they have, you can follow them on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. They have their own website. So it's a full body biscuit and caramel malt flavor balance with bright, piney Norfolk County hops in this local red ale. Interesting. You can find them at 52 Burbrook Place, London, Ontario. And yeah, so it's a cooperative. It's employee owned and operated democratically. Ooh. And yeah, so locally grown hops. And yeah, I'm going to crack it open for y'all. Woo. Got a glass here. Oh yeah. I'm going to pour it in my glass. Ooh, it is red. Imagine a red beer that's red. Who knew? How's everyone's week going? Oh, yeah. Whew. Yeah, I was actually drinking some of their lager today too, and it's good as well. I actually still have one on the go, but maybe I might be double fisting. You never know. So cheers, folks. Cheers to new beginnings and a new apartment and a new life. Oh, that's good. I like that. It is a red beer. Not bad. What is it? 5.3% alcohol. IBU of 40. And it's a tall can. Always tall boy can. Because I'm a tall boy. But no, so last time we talked, I was in Smashville. And I was talking about being in Texas and New Orleans. So Nashville is great, man. I'm like, for a guy who, I don't really like country, but like I said, it is growing on me. I like Nashville a lot. It was a nice city. Like, we went to some cool spots. Like, obviously there's Broadway Street where it's like a mini Las Vegas. It's like the mini Las Vegas Strip. And there's a lot of bars and restaurants there, but we went to this one spot, and it was like an old car manufacturer. Like, what was it called?
Marathon Motors.
Say that again?
Marathon Motors.
Marathon Motors. There we go. Jeez, I should have done my homework first. Thank God Emma's here. So Marathon Motors, yes. It was pretty nice, actually. I enjoyed it. So it was like this old factory, and it was like a museum. And they had a bunch of old car parks, and it was like an assembly line when you walk through. Some nice shops, cute shops and everything. Oh, they were cute? Really, Tim? Yeah, they were. But the best part about it was we did a whiskey/moonshine tasting. And they're not shy when they give you shots of moonshine there, because I guess they want you to buy bottles of this stuff. So, like, the girl just starts lining up shots, and we're only allowed to do 6 each. But she's just like, oh, you got to mix these two together. And Emma and I got really buzzed, and I ended up buying coffee whiskey, which was delicious. And Emma bought some sort of some sort of habanero whiskey moonshine, mango moonshine, habanero. God, from the cheap seats, Emma. And yeah, it was really good. And so we brought those back with us, and oh man, it was good. But then, so we purchased our whiskey, and we're just walking around for a bit, and then we noticed that there's a wine shop, and of course they do wine tasting. So we walk in, and they're not shy either, and we were allowed to do 8 tastings. Well, we had to pay for 8 tastings, and well, they first said, well, you can do 4, you can pay for 4, or you could do all 8. We're just like, fuck it, let's do all 8. And then afterwards, we ordered a wine slushy, which was also delicious. And then we bought 2 bottles of wine. And so, yeah, and then we were getting pretty hungry. And like the way we got around the city was we just got on one of these tour buses that's like a hop on, hop off. The same thing that we did in New Orleans. And actually, if they're pretty handy. Like some people like don't really want to do them because it's like, oh, I don't want to be that touristy. But seriously, man, it's an easy way to get around, especially they come every 30 minutes and they're very convenient and they're cheaper than doing like Uber or Lyft or whatever, like back and forth, or hopping in a cab or going on a bus. And they start at like early morning and then they go to like 5 o'clock at night. And so if you're running around all day and you want to check out a city, do that kind of shit, man. It was really convenient. And yeah, we just got on the bus again and we just drove around the rest of the city. We saw Vanderbilt University. We went through Music Row where like all the contracts are signed for country music and like, and we saw where Carrie Underwood works and I don't know, other country music stars, Toby Keith, Tim McGraw. Yeah, those guys, all those people. I'm not really all those people. And so we ended up back to Broadway Street, which is like the first stop. And like I said before, it's like the first major stop in Nashville. It's like the place where things are happening. And we decided to go for lunch at Jason Aldean's new restaurant. No? Luke Bryan's new restaurant. Sorry. I didn't. Well, Jason Aldean has his own spot too, does he not? Okay. So we went to Luke Bryan's instead, and it was brand new, and it was really fucking nice. But if you talk to the couple that was beside us, my God, they would tell you it's deli different. They took back their burgers, and I ordered the same burger they did, and I asked for like medium and medium well or whatever, and I think they did the same thing, but they took it back because it wasn't cooked properly. You know, those people that are just always trying to find a free meal after free meal. Oh man, it pissed me off because then they sat there waiting, and they thought they were just going to leave and go somewhere else, but they're like, well, we thought we were going to get another burger and more free drinks and stuff. It's like, holy fuck, here we go. But other than that, it was a good time. I ordered, if you follow me on Instagram, you probably saw my picture of the Yeehaw IPA. That was a pretty good beer, and Emma was, I don't know what Emma drank. Was it a shock top that you had? Or something. Yeah, it was a Belgian Moon. And we were just having beers there. The country music was flowing, even though they were playing like Ed Sheeran and like Maroon 5 and what the fuck is that other guy's name? The Uptown Funk guy, Bruno Mars. They were doing Bruno Mars and everything. So there was a bit of mixture, but they were like in that country genre. And so after that, we hopped on the hop on, hop off bus and continued on because it was nice because that bus basically stopped like 10-minute walk away from where we were staying. And so we got off the one stop and then just walked to our Airbnb, cracked open 2 bottles of wine and watched watch the new Jumanji with The Rock. And I thought it was going to be an absolute terrible movie, but maybe it was the alcohol I drank all day, but I had a few chuckles, especially from Kevin Hart. It's not like the original. The original is a great movie. I try to watch that movie every year, but like the new Jumanji, not bad if you're in the mood for it. I know some of my friends are going to be like, "Oh, really? Why would you watch that?" But no. Oh yeah. Yeah, it was a good time. And then we had the 2 bottles of wine and then headed downtown. We went to Broadway Street. And oh geez, we went to some bars, and we went Tootsie's, where the first bar we went to was Tootsie's, and geez, they don't have, I guess they're just allowed to pack as many people as they want in Nashville bars, because it was packed, and it's like 4 floors, or like 3 or 4 floors, and every floor was packed. And the funny thing was, we're going up to the 4th floor, like the top floor, and this guy comes down the stairs, and he has like this like posse with him, this entourage, and people were taking selfies with him. And Emma goes, "Oh my God, that was Jason Aldean. That was just Jason Aldean. I saw Jason Aldean. I'm so excited." And I'm like, okay, I don't know who Jason Aldean is to begin with, and I don't know what he looks like. And so for the longest time, we both thought it was Jason Aldean. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. I guess he's going to Tootsie's. Maybe he played there when he was like starting up, because they gave us the big spiel that like Johnny Cash and all those, Willie Nelson and all those guys were there that started up there. And it's a really cool bar. And even if you're not into country music, you should just check it out. It's really nice. I mean, the ultras were flowing. But yeah, no, it was a good time. And then we leave that bar after like maybe an hour or hour and a half, and we head to Honky Tonk, and we get in, and we have a few beers there. We get some munchies. We take a picture on the balcony, and then we decided to head out, because we had to get up at like 5:30 in the morning to drive 12 hours back to Canada the next day. And we get out of the bar, we get out of Honky Tonk, and then we see Jason Aldean again. And he's just like the same thing, like entourage of girls, like, "Oh my God, it's Jason Aldean. I'm so excited." And Emma goes like, "That guy is not Jason Aldean. He is way too short." And so she's like, "I'm going to make sure that that's Jason Aldean." And she looks up Jason Aldean height, and it's like 6'1". That's his height. And this guy was not 6'1". He might have been 5'9". 5'7". Jesus. Okay. And then later that night, I looked up Jason Aldean lookalikes, and that's the first thing that pops up, that there's this guy in Nashville that just walks around looking like Jason Aldean. So be warned about that man if you know who Jason Aldean is, because I really don't. Even though I'm pretty sure I like one of his songs, but I'm not too sure. But no, it was a good trip. And then we got up super early, and God, we drove all day. Well, Emma did most of the driving. I did like 3 hours of it. And God, it was one of those things, like you get up, and we left Tennessee, and then we got into, Kentucky. Yes, we went through Kentucky first, and we stopped in a McDonald's to get some breakfast and coffee, and the people were looking a little rough around the edges, but it was a small town, and we just kept driving, and I was just like, "Oh, I'm sick in Kentucky. When are we going to get into Ohio?" And we got into Ohio, and we got some Chipotle for lunch, and same thing. I'm like, "Oh, when are we going to get into Michigan?" And we get into Michigan, and it's just like, holy fuck, we have to get through Detroit. And we didn't go through the Detroit Windsor crossing. We went up to Port Huron Sarnia crossing. And it was so long to wait. It was like an hour and a half just to pay the toll to get onto the bridge. But you know, like we had a bunch of Emma's stuff, and we were like more than prepared for like it to get searched and whatnot. And no, we got right through, and we were happy about that. And I'm happy that Emma's back in Canada. No more long distance. Woo! Emma's giving me the thumbs up as she's still unpacking. But yeah, no, it was good. It was a good trip. Like lots of driving. Emma's car had a lot of miles on it. But no, we did it. We got back. We drove back to the Bruce County. Bruce County, Huron County, nobody knows. So we got there, we got to Lucknow, and we had dinner with her family and just had some drinks there. And then we woke up in the morning and we headed to her family cottage, which is right on Lake Huron. It's beautiful, gorgeous. Stayed there for the weekend. Had a great time. Was celebrating her little sister's birthday. And yeah, we played some beer pong, some baseball, not actual baseball. We were playing beer pong baseball, which hopefully all y'all are familiar with. And it's, if you're with the right crowd, it's a fun sport, but everyone just kept on like trying to play, then like leaving, which is the worst thing when you're playing that drinking game. Because it's like, oh, I want to play, and then they're up, and then they throw their balls, and then all of a sudden, if they don't get a shot and they're out, then they just fuck off and walk around, and you're like, where the fuck is so and so? And then all of a sudden, the game just dies, and no one's playing anymore, and everyone's just like, okay, I guess we're just gonna continue just drinking. But it was a good time. Like, we woke up the next morning and just hung out at the cottage, and yeah, we got up and oh fuck, what am I going to say? I'm going to have a sip of beer instead. Yeah, we just relaxed basically before we had to move on Tuesday, and yeah, it was a good time. And then headed here on Tuesday morning. It was quite lovely. A good trip to the cottage. And well, we're going back on the weekend. We're going there on Saturday, I believe. And I can't wait because it's really nice. Like the waves there, man, like Lake Huron's huge. The waves just put you right to sleep. And it's a good time. Excuse me. My God. But no, here in London, and I'm excited for September. I'm excited for school to start. I really need to find a part-time job. I'm really need to find a part-time job. So anyone in London, if you're listening to this and you need some tall giant to help you out a couple times a week, I mean, I can do it. I'm not going to do anything. Let's just put it out there. I'm not going to do cat trapping or anything like that because that's just barbaric. But I'll work minimum. Oh, no, not minimum. I don't know. I need something. I need to work. I need to make some money, at least a little bit of something. I don't want to get into total debt and just be completely useless while Emma slaves away at the new London hospital. Well, it's not new, but it's going to be new for her. Yeah. So yeah, what's going on in the world? What's going on in Ontario? So when I got back, I was patrolling Twitter, and my one buddy, Mr. Christopher Koss, he sent me a couple articles. He's like, "Dude, this would be great for the podcast," and they are. They were good reads. One was from City News, and the other one I believe was from CBC. Yes, CBC News, and I got them on my phone here, and because he sent them through via text. And I'd like to say that Chris Koss did a great job, along with Trent. And yeah, it was good. And so these articles that he sent me are about the new Doug Ford government promising buck a beer. I know everyone's excited for buck a beer. You know, oh, I can't wait to drink Bush Ice. It's going to be a great time. You know what I'm saying? Bush Ice all day, buck a beer, you know? I mean, like, I remember this happening when I was a kid. They had like a buck a beer. And I'm pretty sure the reason why they got rid of it was because people just became absolute booze hounds. I remember you could get like a Lakeport lager for a buck a beer. And I'm pretty sure people would just get to the beer store when it opened at 11 o'clock, slam that case in like a couple hours and then go back. Because like, if you think about it, it's like only a buck a beer. Like, why not just drink your face off? But the problem is that right now, there are a lot more craft breweries than there ever has been, like anywhere. Like you go anywhere around the world, there's a craft brewery. Like it's a huge, huge market now. And so with like the articles are talking about, especially because they're heavy on the GTA because that's where Koss is from. Well, that's where he lives. Well, I guess Newmarket is GTA. Is it GTA? Can you answer me that, Chris? Could you? I'm not too sure. But like the vice president of Henderson's Brewing Company in this article from what's it called? City News is talking about the Ford initiative about buck a beer, and he's calling it a race to the bottom. And that like craft beer enthusiasts want quality ingredients and that carry a higher price tag, which is true. Because it's all, they try to do all local ingredients. They try to make sure, I don't know, it's better for you than just like having like corn syrup and all these gross like fructose and all that crap in it. And so there's a quote in his, like, I don't think that the Ontario craft beer movement needs to take part in the Buck a Beer initiative. I think we're all about quality and expensive ingredients. I don't think that the local craft consumer is looking for beer at that price. Well, there are two sides to every story. And I know some of my friends and I know people out there are pretty excited about this because I love craft beer and majority of my podcast is about craft beer. Like I try to drink a craft beer on every podcast. Sometimes it doesn't work. The last one I hammered down a Budweiser. But some people don't like it. They don't have the taste. They just like it's not like they have a simple taste or anything. They like their Coors Light. They like their Michelob Ultra. Or they like their Budweiser or Bud Light, and they're excited the fact that these beers, these big beer companies might do the Buck a Beer initiative. And, like, cause beer is really expensive in Ontario. Like some cases can be like $42, and that's just like the big six or like the big companies. And so it goes on about like the Buck a Beer thing is very much for the big guys, like I just said, to play if they choose to do that in high volume products like 24 packs at the beer store. And I can see that. And with these whole new tariffs and everything, which is the other article that he sent me from CBC, talks about how the aluminum tariffs on aluminum products going into Canada are like increasing their prices because I don't know, I think it's like I talked about this before. I'm pretty sure I said it was 10 or 25% increase or 10 to 25% tariff, and that's expensive. So they can't like craft breweries cannot afford this Buck a Beer. They will go out of business. It is going to be so hard for them to enjoy, to like sell their products. And I agree with it. Like, I love craft beer, like I said before. I'm drinking one right now. And it's just nice to see this happening. Like, you can go and like they it's not just like a massive brewery. Like, if you ever gone by like a Labrat brewery or a Molson Canadian brewery, it just looks like a massive factory from the 1920s, or like they're just like burning coal for electricity. They're huge breweries. But you go to like a craft brewery, they might have a tap room, they might have a small restaurant involved, or they just like have a tiny little patio. Like, I've been to a bunch, like in Ottawa, in Toronto, and I can't wait to do some of them in London. And I love them, and they will get hurt by this Buck a Beer initiative. And, like I watched the thing, like Doug Ford I don't know where he is. He might be in the Molson Brewery or something. He's sitting there with all his guys hanging out. He's just like, oh, it's not going to cost the taxpayers anything. And he's just going on about how this is a great thing. And yeah, some people are fired up. They're really pumped, but I'm sure people that enjoy craft beer are not going to be happy about it. And if we could just figure out this fucking tariff thing, my God, that's frustrating. Like, end the trade war. Let's go. Figure it out. We have NAFTA. Let's do this thing. Yeah. Because, like, you just go on Twitter. Like, just go, like, on any craft brewery, like, page or handle. You'll notice that it's just, like, we're not involving ourselves in the Buck a Beer initiative. And it's going to be a battle. And on both sides, there's going to be people that are going to get hurt, and there's going to be winners on both sides as well. But I am curious to see what's going to happen next, and I really hope that it works out for the craft breweries. I hope that the ones that I really enjoy don't go under, because they don't deserve that. Their business, they're trying to make a living as well, and I'm all for spending a little bit more money on quality, but I'm going back to school, and I don't want to pay like $12 for a can of beer. But at the same time, it's just good to know that we have options out there. Like, if I feel like getting just a case of Bud Light, because sometimes I do enjoy light beer, I do enjoy a Coors Light or something. It's good to know that I could get a case of beer for, let's say, $12 or $15 or $24. But at the same time, if I want to get like 8 cans of mixture of craft beer, I'll pay for it. I will do it, because I like all beer. I'm not discriminating against any beer. If you hand me any kind of beer, I will most likely drink it. Well, except for sour beer. It's not my favorite, or like really fruity beers. So not any beer. But Emma got me hooked on the Ultras, and I was trolling a bunch of my friends about that. Because they're like, why would you ever drink a Michelob Ultra? It's like, hey man, if you're day drinking all day, if you start drinking at, let's say, like 10:30 or like 11 o'clock when bars open in Ontario, it's just a nice drink that you can like drink all day. And you can mix in a couple mixed drinks or whatever. Like, I'm not a Caesar guy, but it's just a nice beer. Like, oh, that's just water, you little bitch. It's a diet beer. Don't drink a diet beer. What are you, on a diet? Well, after driving through the States, I think I should be. My God, did I eat like a crazy lunatic? Or just I don't know. No, it's just a nice beer. It's just like, it's good to have it for day drinks, and it's just like it hydrates you while you drink it. So don't knock it before you try it. That's all I have to say about that. And on that note, I believe it's it. That's a wrap. And I should start helping Emma with some more moving, because I feel kind of bad. And yeah, that's about it. You can follow this podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at Tall Talk Podcast. You can subscribe to the podcast on SoundCloud, iTunes, and YouTube at Tall Talk Podcast again. If you have any questions, you can email me, talltalkpodcast@gmail.com. And if you want to see some cool photos, check out my personal account on Instagram at HeardTimothy90. And that's about it. I hope everyone has a great week, and I can't wait to talk to you again. All right. Bye.